Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Sri Tips here. And what we have is a little bit of gold that we're going to refine in this video. Here's some 14K stuff. Get a weight on this. And we've got 23.9, 24 grams. And I've got that recorded right here. We'll add this to the crucible. Next, I have some 10K material here. Put this on the scale. And we've got 39 grams. I've already got that recorded. We'll add this to our crucible. Next, I have a little bit of an oddity here. This is some 8K gold. It's not marked, and I just called it 8K. So we'll throw this in the on the scale, and you can see we have 26.1 grams of this 8K material. A little bit of a backstory on this material. This person was in desperate need of some cash to repair a car, and this material, none of it was marked. And it had filler in it, and none of the other gold buyers would touch it. They were scared of it. I was able to test it, determine it's low carat gold. I tried to talk this person out of selling it because they brought this stuff with them from Central America when they migrated here back in the 1960s as a teenager. But they said, no, I've got to sell it because I need cash to fix my car. So it's kind of a unique item. I don't come across this stuff much. And that's the story on this 8K material. There have been some comments in my previous video about these dimes. These are 90% silver dimes. Was I going to use these to inquart the gold? The answer is no. You don't want to use stuff like this. This contains a known quantity of silver minted by a government, and these things should be held just like they are. And so what we'll do is we'll use some sterling silver here. I've calculated that I need 55 grams of sterling silver. So what we'll do is use some pieces of sterling silver flatware here. That's almost 57 grams, but that'll be okay because I'm not quite sure what the carat of this stuff is. It might be a little higher, but I don't think so. So we're gonna go out now and put this stuff on the melt table, melt the gold, alloy it with this additional silver so that we can inquart this gold to create a 25% gold alloy. Here we go. Got a little bit of a change of plan here. What I'm going to do is use this silver to inquart this gold. If you go back and look at my notebook, you'll notice that I calculated the amount of silver needed to inquart this gold. I did not add additional silver for this gold because it's only 8K, and that should have enough base metals in it so that we should just be able to put this right straight into nitric acid and draw everything out with nitric acid boils, just like we're going to do with this. Got to add additional silver, but this already has additional other metals in it, so that we should just be able to go straight to nitric boils with this. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to set up two separate burners up there and process this separately from this. But for now, what we'll do is go ahead and get this going, get this melted up and inquarted with this silver.
Now we'll take the low carat gold. I'm going to add that to a dish here. We're just going to incinerate it to burn off any junk. Here's the gold, the carat gold that we alloyed the additional silver. We'll take this in, rinse it off, get it into a beaker.
I got the inquarted gold in this beaker. We'll set this up on our heating pad over here. Here's our incinerated 8K gold. What I'll do is add a little bit of water to this beaker. And we're going to add this incinerated gold now right in here. Carefully. Adding a touch of distilled water to our inquarted gold, maybe about 100 milliliters. I'm going to cover these. And now what we'll do is start adding small doses of nitric acid. And what we'll do is we'll be able to pull all the silver and base metals out of this inquarted gold. And this gold was low enough concentration, down around 8K or so. So we should be able to pull all the silver and base metals out of this gold as well. And as we do these nitric boils to pull those base metals and silver out, I'll add that liquid to this jar back here because it will contain silver. I'm going to put that on time lapse. I'm going to start doing that right now. Been at this for some time now. I'm going to pour off this liquid. You can see it's still got a little bit of color to it. I'm going to pour this liquid off into my silver jar. Rinse this off a little bit. And I think we're still pulling a little bit of metal out of here. Base metals still. So what we'll do is I'm going to pour this rinse off into my silver jar. Over here. This one's ready. Back here you can see it's got the right color to it. So what I'll do is pour this acid into this container. Back here. We're almost done with the recovery process. Let's go ahead and set this back up on the heat and let this boil a little while longer. This one what we'll do is add some water and just give this a boil in some distilled water. This one is ready to go, ready to refine with aqua regia. This one is still pulling base metals. You can tell by the color of it. And so I think what we're going to do, is getting late. I think what I might do here is just go ahead and pour this off to my silver jar. You can see it's obviously got some color going on in there. And we're gonna rinse this off a little bit. Distilled water. It's almost there. It's looking real good. And so now what we're going to do is just put a little bit more water in here. And a little bit more nitric acid. And I'm going to just let this set for a while and cook a little while longer. And then what I'll probably do is just shut this down, let everything cool off, and continue in the morning. This solution down here is still turning blue, and that tells me that we're still pulling a little bit of copper out of there. But I don't know how many more of these nitric boils we need to do for this material. It's looking pretty decent down in there. We might be ready for a refining on it now. So I'm going to call it here. I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off. And then we're going to put some water on this and let this boil in some water for a few minutes. Distilled water. I've had both of these boiling in distilled water, and so what we'll do now is go ahead and pour this off. Here's both of our samples of gold. This beaker has about 1 ounce of pure gold in it now, with all the silver and base metals extracted. This beaker has about 9 grams of pure gold. We didn't inquart this, we just treated it with hot nitric acid boils and removed as much of the base metal and silver that we could out of here. I checked my records. This should be about 30 grams of pure gold. This one should be about 9 grams of pure gold. So now we're going to add some hydrochloric acid. I'm going to use about 150 milliliters in this one. Fill it up to the 150 milliliter level. And on this one over here, I'm going to fill it up to about the 100 milliliter level. Now what I'll do is add some sulfuric acid to each one of these. And the reason we do this is to precipitate out any lead in there that may be present. Lead will combine with the sulfuric acid and make lead sulfate, and then we can filter it out 100%. I should be able to get all of this gold here in this beaker to go into solution with about 15 milliliters of nitric acid. So we're going to add 15 milliliters of nitric acid to this beaker. And then we should be able to get this to go with about maybe 10 milliliters. Let's try that. See what we get. And I'm going to add this right on in here. This one might take a little bit more because it did have some extra stuff in it. We were still pulling a little bit of copper when we got done with that last nitric boil. I'm going to put these up on the heat now and let them dissolve. I'll put it on time lapse. Here I'm using incremental nitric acid dosing. What that means is I'm adding the exact right amount of nitric acid to just get all that gold to go into solution. There I just added a little bit more hydrochloric acid to freshen the acid up in those beakers. And now what we're doing is cranking the heat up, letting this boil down to remove any excess nitric acid that may be present. I can tell when all the excess nitric acid is gone, if there's any in there, when all the fumes clear up in those beakers. What I've done is evaporated both of these solutions down to remove any excess nitric. So now we're going to pull it down off the heat and let this cool down. It's looking real good. Here you can see in the bottom of this beaker, this is the one that had the 8K material in it. There's some trash down on the bottom and a few solids left. That's quite all right. What I'm going to do now is add some ice to this. It's been allowed to pretty much cool down to ambient temperature, but I'm going to add some ice. What this will do is this will dilute the solution and cause any silver chloride that may be present to precipitate out, and it'll cool everything off so we can filter all that junk out of there. Solution is just a touch on the cloudy side. So what we'll do is go ahead, let's pour this through the same filter a second time. See if we can get this cloudiness to clear up. That worked out pretty good. I think we've got it cleared up nicely now. Crystal clear. Got all the sediment out of there. This is what is in our filter. A few little chunks of gold in there. Now what we'll do is set this back out of the way. And we're going to add our gold bearing solution to this clean beaker. Let's get some of the solution on a piece of filter paper. I'm going to test this with stannous to verify that we've got gold in solution. There you go. That dark stain verifies we've got gold in solution. This is some ferrous sulfate that I had from a previous refining. And what we're going to try to do. Okay, I had to go run some hot water on this to get the lid off. These ground glass lids seal up so well that when it cools off, they pull a vacuum in here, and it's hard to pull the top off. It's going to add a little bit of sulfuric or hydrochloric acid here. See if that changes this in any way, and it does not. I don't think this has already been processed, dissolved in hot water, and filtered, so it's ready to be used for precipitation. So now what we're going to do is just go ahead and add our ferrous sulfate in here until there should be enough, until we precipitate out all this gold. There's only about 9 grams of gold in here. Here we go, ferrous sulfate going in right now. So just let this settle out now. Let's get in here and get a stannous test and make sure we've got all this gold precipitated. There you can see by that negative stannous test, all the gold has come down. Now what we'll do is pour off this waste solution into my temporary waste container. Now I'll rinse it over and over with some boiling distilled water. Here's our gold from the 8-carat material. Now what we'll do is some hydrochloric acid in here. this up on the heat and boil it. Some hydrochloric acid. It's been boiling in hydrochloric now for about 10 minutes or so, I guess. So what we'll do is go ahead and pour this off to our temporary waste container. Rinse it over and over with some more hot tap water and get the acid rinsed off of here. All right, here's our gold, been refined. That was from the 8-carat material. It's looking real good, so we should be able to go ahead and put this in a crucible now. Get this melted up. I'm going to transfer our gold to a melt dish down here. Hurry, make a mess. Let's take it over here in the melt table. We're going to melt this into an ingot. Here we go. That came out nearly perfect. Oh yeah, that looks real good, man. Look at that little bar of pure gold. Came out real nice. Here's our little bar that we just refined out of the 8K scrap that we had. I was estimating 8.7 grams of pure gold from the 8K material. Let's see what we actually got here. Boom, 10.1. We'll take it. Very nice. A loaf of pure gold. Okay, now it's this guy's turn. This is our 30 grams or so that we refined separately. I'm going to do something here I've never done before. I'm going to try using the same filter to filter this gold. It's the same filter I used earlier. It's still moist and it's loaded up, so we shouldn't be able to get any crap out of here through this filter. I'm going to start this one out by adding a couple ice cubes. Should be okay. This doesn't have as much silver chloride in it. This solution looks clear and bright with just one pass through that loaded up filter. We're going to be okay here. All right, here we go. This is what's left in the filter. Let's get this out of the way. Pour the gold solution into a clean beaker. Get in here and do a quick status test. Make sure we've got gold in solution. I know I do, but it's always a good idea to do this test. A dark stain means gold in solution. It's going to use some sodium metabisulfite to precipitate the gold from this solution. Here we go. Just going to add a spoon right on in. Boom. I'm going to add a second spoon of sodium metabisulfite. Here we go. This is number 3. This should do it. This should get us totally precipitated. And all the gold should be out of solution now. Let's go ahead and verify this with another status test. See, negative status test means all the gold has precipitated. I think what we'll do is put this up on some heat, give it a boil, and see if we can get it to settle out for us quickly. This is a testament to how effective inquarting with silver and then pulling the base metals out with nitric is at cleaning up the gold. This is just absolutely beautiful looking gold with a clear solution on it. So what we're going to do now is pour off this waste solution to a waste container, and then I'm going to rinse it over and over down here with some hot distilled water. Here we go. Now what we'll do is add some hydrochloric acid. And we're going to put this back up on the heat now and boil this in hydrochloric acid. Pour off this hydrochloric acid boil. Ready to melt this gold. Let's get it down into this melt dish. Perfect. Let's take it over here to the table and melt this up into an ingot. That's another beauty with just a single refining. Look at that thing, man. Man, that looks good. Oh yeah, look at that thing. I can see myself. Single refining. Beautiful. Here's our two beautiful pure gold bars that we just refined. We were looking to yield about, what would that be? Let's see, 30.1 grams from the karat gold, from the 14 and the 10K. Add these two numbers here together and you get 30.9. Let's see what the actual yield is on this one. Look at that thing. Whew. Our actual yield is 31.9. So we gained a gram. That's always a good thing. Gaining some gold is better than not coming up, short rather. So now we've got two pure gold bars in this video. This will conclude the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching.